Hey there, friends and enemies, Jopa here again, and today I want to do a recap of all the exciting looter shooter news we got this week that you might have missed, as it looks to be an exciting summer of reveals, release dates, and much more. And I'm really looking forward to all that because it did feel like we were in a bit of a lull with the genre, and that is now ending, and we have a lot more to be excited about and look forward to in the future, which is awesome. Anyway, jumping into it, first off, we have Borderlands 4, which is not really confirmed for a specific release date or window, but we know it is on the horizon. And 2K Games recently said they are prepared to reveal a sequel to a beloved franchise at Summer Games Fest. Whether this is Borderlands 4 or maybe BioShock, Mafia, something like that, remains to be seen. However, that goes along with Take-Two, the company that recently purchased Gearbox, who develops Borderlands, saying that the Borderlands franchise is going to be a pillar of what they do going forward, meaning they're going to invest a lot of resources in not only the next mainline Borderlands game, but also spin-offs a la Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which hopefully also gets a sequel, as well as other types of media like the Borderlands movie. That is very polarizing. I know not everyone is on board with the movie, but if it is successful, it could be bringing a lot more eyes to the franchise, and really you would expect the marketing for the movie to coincide with a uptick in information on Borderlands 4. I don't know if they are going to try to release the new game early next year after they've built some momentum with this, or they might do a remaster of sorts of one of the older Borderlands games, but it would make a lot of sense for them to try to update the game like we saw with Fallout 76 and Fallout 4 with the Fallout show in some way, shape, or form when the new movie does release, especially if it is successful. So very exciting news. I think Borderlands 4 is going to potentially be one of the biggest games of this generation as we look at the potential that it has, getting more investment. And it remains to be seen if they'll go live service or some kind of hybrid live service with the current model that they've done with old Borderlands games as well. Who knows, but very exciting times. Next up, we have Once Human news, as they are heading to Summer Games Fest as well to unveil the release date. They tease this on Twitter. It doesn't specifically say release date, but it's very obvious, and that's very exciting for a lot of people. This is going to happen on June 7th, 2024. Whether they do a shadow drop and just release it really quickly once that does happen, the game feels really good to a lot of people who have had the chance to play it. The only question is going to be if it ever comes to consoles. I think a lot of PC players have been able to play this game quite a bit, and they're very used to what the game has in store, but I do think it could find a really big new market if it does eventually hit consoles. I don't see that happening at launch, unfortunately, as somebody who would love to play it on console, but I do understand why they wouldn't do that, and this was a game that originally started as more of like a mobile game and PC game, so I'm not surprised they're not ready to put it on console. If they do end up dropping it on Xbox and PlayStation, that would be extremely exciting. I just don't see it as being likely. So anyway, really looking forward to that. I think the Once Human dropping sometime this summer, maybe later in the summer after Destiny 2 The Final Shape has kind of come and gone. That is dropping on June 4th, and then obviously on June 7th is when this tease is coming, so the timing could work out very, very well for them if they play their cards right. Then we've also got another game possibly dropping this summer, and this one is locked in for the summer at some point, we just don't know when, The First Descendant. I would imagine we will hear more about this one at Summer Games Fest or around that time as well. We do have a 2-day beta for PC only coming, unlike the past betas which were console and PC. This one seems to be just tightening everything up and getting ready for full launch. I would imagine that either Once Human or The First Descendant, we'll see one of them drop like right away as soon as they have the trailer, and it's like they're both free to play. It would make a lot of sense if they're like, this game is available right now, go play it, log on, all that kind of good stuff. I could see that happening with either of the games, but especially The First Descendant, and I think that's the type of game that hopefully, honestly, for its success, launches later in the summer, maybe into July or August, because then it can avoid not only the Destiny 2 The Final Shape, but it'll also avoid the Elden Ring DLC, which will consume a lot of people's lives going forward. Next up, we do also have Suicide Squad news, finally. As Season 1, Episode 2 will officially drop on May the 23rd, they listed some more information about new weapons and everything coming. It's not enough to get people excited at this point. If Joker didn't get people engaged, then this is not going to be the update to do so. They need something dramatic, whether it's a completely new type of content, that PvEVP mode that has been teased by online leakers, or a raid or something of that nature. That's the only way to make any kind of dent, and even then it might be too late. But I am personally going to be playing when episode 2 launches. I'll check it out. I'll see the new stuff, how it changes up my builds and all that kind of good stuff. I do think the game is still fun for me, even if a lot of people disagree. Now, along that line, it does need to be known that the WB Games has essentially said that the disappointing Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League cost WB Games something like $200 million after not making nearly their budget back. And I feel like that's exaggerated. I feel like that kind of is just the lower revenue compared to how successful Hogwarts Legacy was last year. And so that kind of plays into that. But it does feel like a major bummer that Suicide Squad was such a disappointment. And I wouldn't be surprised if after the Season 1, Episode 2 drops, if they do curtail development of the game, or at least tone back what they are dropping into the game, because it doesn't feel like recovery is an option at this point, unless they do a full 2.0 like we've seen with other games, a la Final Fantasy Realm Reborn or something of that nature. I don't know if that is possible, but if it is, that's what needs to be the focus. They need to have a singular update that drops so much content, so much good stuff, that it almost forces people who have already bought the game to jump back in. And I just don't see that happening at this point. I would love to see it, but it's probably not likely. Anyway, this summer it looks to be an exciting time. Again, June 4th, we have Destiny 2 The Final Shape, the culmination of a 10-year-long saga, which I am personally very much looking forward to and going to cover. We've gotten a lot of teases. You can definitely check out some of my other videos on the channel about that. I'll be covering The First Descendant in detail as that one drops as well, because I'm very excited. I'll have some coverage of Suicide Squad Episode 2 next week as it launches as well, because I definitely want to check it out and see how good or bad it ultimately is. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, helps me out tremendously, shows you want to see more looter shooter type content. I would love to do weekly recaps like this, because it does seem like there's always moving parts to talk about and things are easily missed. Anyway, if you want to see that, like, comment, subscribe. My name is Jopa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.